Now we're going to progress to level 4 progression for the pelvic floor. For level 4, we're going to not just stand with the gravity pulling all of the abdominal contents down into the pelvic floor, which increases the difficulty level. We're also going to load through our feet. So, for example, jumping and running. So, for level 4, we're going to do the same split squat. Breathe in, breathe out, pull the pelvic floor up and in, and then we're going to switch feet. And then breathe in, breathe out, pull the pelvic floor up and in, and switch feet. So we're going to go back and forth in a jump for as many times as you're going to hold that pelvic floor. Now at the beginning, for each jump, before you jump, you might need to reset the pelvic floor and pull it up and in. Over time, you can do 2 or 3 jumps without resetting the pelvic floor. It's pretty difficult to do this, and at first with jumping, we want to land on 2 feet at the same time so that the pelvic floor is kind of, both hips have 50% body weight, and over time, we're going to transition to 1-foot hopping where 100% of the body weight is on one hip. So it's more difficult, obviously. So that's going to look like pulling the pelvic floor up and in on the out breath. Breathe out. Pull the pelvic floor up and in. And then we're going to jump, 1 foot, jump, opposite foot. So kind of like a hopscotch type of pattern to start getting used to jumping on 2 feet, but also used to jumping on 1 foot and keeping that pelvic floor activated. Because if you think about it, functionally, we do a lot on our feet, including running. And when we're running, we have to be able to load 100% of our body weight on 1 hip and still be able to hold the pelvic floor. So as we get further into these level 3s and 4s, we start resuming our normal functional activity like running. It's going to be a lot harder to run when our bladder's full, obviously, versus when it's empty. So in the beginning, when resuming running, you can walk run versus just running the whole time. If that's easier, you can also empty your bladder right before you go running. If you need to wear a pad, you can wear a pad at first if you suspect that you'll have some leaking. But ideally, we want to work up to not having to empty the bladder right beforehand. So as you progress through these pelvic floor exercises, that would be the goal. Not wearing a pad, not needing to empty the bladder right before running. And so I would say if you could do split squat jumps, maybe about 20 in a row. It's pretty tough to do. Maybe holding the pelvic floor every 5 split squat jumps and then relaxing, resetting, do another 5 and doing 4 sets of those, then that's a pretty good level. Same thing with a hopscotch. If you can do about 10 repetitions of 1 leg jump, 2 leg jumps would be 1 rep, and do 10 of those, that's a pretty high level. So at that point, you can start running and jogging at first and then running. Hopefully this series of videos was helpful.